to BYOB Talks. Welcome everybody. As you join us, drop it in the chat where you're calling us from and your affirmations. Great evening from Minnesota. Remember, our affirmations create what we want in advance. We see our future in advance when we affirm. I am an educated BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I am 777. I am the big bank. I am anointed for wealth. I'm an educated trader. Therefore, I'm a profitable trader. As you join us, drop it in the chat. Your name, where you're calling in from. This is BYOB Worldwide. Being your own bank. That is what we're doing. That is who we are. This is a movement. Drop it in the chat. Where you're calling in from. Your name, where you're calling in from, your affirmations. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This has been a powerful Tuesday, and we're going to end the evening very strong as well. I know a lot of you cashed out today, dropping those 777s in the chat. Good evening from Toledo. Good evening, good evening. I compound my account daily with $500 plus, and I make weekly withdrawals. Excellent. Yes, yes, yes. All I do is win. Great evening, great evening. As you join us, drop it in the chat where you're joining us from and your affirmations. We will talk about the power of affirmations in just a moment. All right. As you join us, drop it in the chat where you're joining us from and your affirmations. Great evening from Atlanta's in the house. I am a BYOB average breaker all day, every day. Excellent. Eric from Cleveland, welcome, welcome. I'm a billionaire in training. Yes, I am the light. Yes, great evening from Miramar. I am a BYOB master trader. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hello from Jacksonville. Good evening. Yes, I am a successful educated BYOB trader. Hello from Milwaukee. Excellent. I am a millionaire. I am the signal. Yes, drop it in the chat where you're joining us from. We will begin momentarily. Great evening from Windermere, Florida. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm anointed for wealth. Drop it in the chat. Wealth starts in your mind, and then you execute, and then you see the fruits of your labor. Aloha from Hawaii. Welcome. BYOB Worldwide. Drop it in the chat where you're joining us from and your affirmations. Hello from Columbus. Yes, I am 777. I compound daily. 7-figure account owner. Yes. Great evening from Ottawa, Canada. Great evening. BYOB Worldwide. So as you join us, we want to make sure that you are in a quiet room. Make sure you have pen and paper because you are in class. Class is in session right now. We're going to talk about the basics of being your own bank. Great evening from Jacksonville. Welcome, welcome. When you leave this call, great evening from Athens. Yes, welcome. When you leave this call tonight, you will be fully equipped. You will understand the strategy. Great evening from Cleveland. Your mindset will be right, and you'll be ready for the 5 a.m. call Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning to press the button. Whether you're in your demo account or your live account, you will cash out. So welcome, welcome, welcome. For all of you who are brand new to the call, new to the BYOB family, drop a 111 in the chat. If you're brand new, drop a 111 in the chat. If you have already been cashing out, still developing your skill set, drop a 222 in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, I'm excited. I am privileged. I get excited every day about this movement. And I love teaching the strategy that has been simplified by our trade whisperer, Ms. Tasha M. Dyer. I love her to death. A friend, a mentor, a coach, has a huge heart. And because of her, we are here. We're cashing out. We're able to change our lives, our family tree, and our destiny. And you are a part of the BYOB family. This bond cannot be broken. And it's because of this BYOB dream team. So when I got introduced to the BYOB family, it was in September of 2019. And it just changed my life forever because it made something that I thought was extremely difficult, very simple, and it's easy to learn, simple to execute. And so it's not hard, it's just different. And once you hear it over and over again, you'll understand that repetition is the mother of learning. And so I'm just excited to be a part of this family and to introduce you to our dream team, the visionary. I believe we should know how we got started. How was BYOB born? Well, it was born with the vision of Mr. Gerald D. Rogers back in 2018, when he thought about the BYOB movement and what this could do for households all over the world. He has a business success coaching and mentor background. He does that daily, and he serves with his huge heart and his big vision. He's helped tens of thousands of people get their paths right to success. He has a background in mortgage lending, residential and commercial, 25 years plus in investment banking, real estate development. He's a minister. And he has a big vision. Everything he touches turns to gold. So you are blessed to be a part of his BYOB family. And then we have none other than the trade whisperer, Ms. Tasha M. Dyer. She created the BYOB cash out strategy. It was God breathed, and she shared it with all of us. She shares it daily. She's a retired major from the U.S. Army. She's a licensed financial advisor, an MBA recipient, Clay County Officer of the Year. She has a huge heart. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. I call her a glam mother because look at her. She's beautiful. She has it all. And so what she does is she pours into us daily so that we can change our economic our picture forever. And then we have none other than Dr. Craig Bythewood, the finance doctor. He has his PhD in finance and economics. He is a consultant to CEOs and CFOs. He has been a CFO himself. He's a professor. You know, he is someone that pours into us twice a week so that we can get our minds right. He takes something complex, simplifies it as it relates to economics. He will answer any financial question that you have right there with no cost. He's a loving father. He's a girls basketball coach. He does it all as well in grand style. And the three of them have co-authored the book, Be Your Own Bank, Hidden in Plain Sight. Pick up a copy. They have another book that's about to drop as well. So we are in great hands with our leadership team. We must share the word. We must edify wherever we go, our dream team, because a mentor is a shortcut to your success. And then we have the second generation of educators. And we know that the mark of true leadership is duplication, you know, finding your replacement. And so we have the second generation here. We have Mr. Antoine Sims. I love him to death, a dear friend and brother. He has a very successful background. He's retired. He's a retired regional vice president from the restaurant industry. He's helped open hundreds of restaurants across the country, responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. And he brings that same professionalism to the table here with Be Your Own Bank. He is our indice precisionist, our indice educator. And then we have Tritana Perry, who is our crypto igniter with 31 plus years in the insurance industry. She is also a missionary. And when you are in her presence, you can feel the spirit of the Lord just oozing out of her. And she is our crypto educator, and she's going to help us to master that area as well. And then we have none other than Benita Brantley, our trading diva, HFX sniper. She's a true professional. She has a tremendous background, and she brings her professionalism to the table and her patience to teach us how to go in and capitalize on binary options. And then you have yours truly, the pip master, myself. I am here to break everything down so that the person who's starting day one will leave empowered and equipped with the basics that you need to cash out. One trade a day, 6 figures in 6 months. Let's go. Here we are. Be your own bank. We are the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. We move when the market moves, and we attract because we're moving. So we are a part of the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. I want you all to drop movement in the chat. MVNT, movement, because we're on the move. We are going places. We have 2 million families that are waiting for us to enroll them so they can learn and profit, and they will be educated, empowered, and impacted because of this movement. When we move, they move. And if Mark Zuckerberg can attract billions of people to Facebook, surely the collective here in BYOB will attract 2 million families by March 28th, 2022. We have something that's never happened before, and it will never happen again. And so we start with affirmations because we know that 99% of our success begins in our mind. 1% is the skill set. So once you learn the skill, you have it. But in order to have consistent success, it starts with who you are. How do you show up? So we start every call, we start our day, we end our day with affirmations. I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I am an educated trader, therefore I'm a profitable trader. I am 777. That means we are cashing out constantly. I'm anointed for wealth. I am a billionaire. So you have to speak it in order to see it and believe it. So a positive mind means that you give out positive vibes wherever you go, right? And when you give out positive vibes, then what you have is a positive life. And everybody wants to have that positive life, their own personal utopia, good vibrations. That's what we want to make that our theme song. Good vibrations, right? So have your affirmations in front of you at all times and say them to yourself aloud. Record yourself, hear your own voice telling yourself who you really are. Now, here are some fundamental terms that we all need to capture and master so that we can understand what we're doing when we're in the market. So the first term that we're going to talk about is indicator. An indicator is simply a tool used to predict future prices. So when we open up our vibrato, we have 3 indicators that we pay a close attention to let us know what our steps will be when we execute our trade. So the leading indicator is called the stochastic. The stochastic, it measures the momentum of price and gives clues about trend shifts. It's used to indicate when an asset moves into an overbought or oversold position. So when you write stochastic in your notes, one thing, those are the 2 things you want to highlight: overbought and oversold. You as a beginner, we want to make sure we identify when price is overbought and oversold. All right. And we'll talk about why when we pull up the vibrato. And then we have the HA candles, the Hikinashi candles. These are lagging indicators. They're trend candles that help identify whether the market is pushing an asset's value up, whether it's pushing it down, or whether it's moving sideways. So that's the purpose of the HA candles. It's a lagging indicator. That simply means we look at the stochastic first, and then our next 2 indicators second. The parabolic stop and reverse is referred to as the PSAR. It's our lagging indicator. It looks like a dot. It's a small cross that outlines the candles used to determine stop loss, entry, and or exit points for a trade. So underline those points: stop loss, entry, and or exit points. So those are the purposes of these indicators. And we're going to show you those in our chart in just a moment. And so we use the IML Web Analyzer, formerly known as the Web Analyzer, currently known as the Vibrata, in order to analyze our assets. And so this strategy is as simple as 1, 2, 3. When you learn these 3 steps, guess what? You're on your way to financial freedom. You're on your way to your own personal utopia. So the first step is to review the stochastic. That's our leading indicator. It leads just like a man leads his household, right? Then we have the second step. We review the HA candles, Hikanashi candles. Number 3, we review the location of the PSAR. So those are the steps. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, when we're analyzing price, we are analyzing the movement of price. Now, we're not talking about actually selling something or actually buying something. We're using these terms to indicate that price is either dropping or rising. So when we're looking at a sale, when we're looking at price heading in a downward momentum or going down, the value is not increasing, it's decreasing. That's what we're defining as a sale. Then we're looking for the stochastic to be around the 80. And we're looking for the blue line to cross over the red line in a downward position. Now, when those lines are above the 80, it's a stronger movement or stronger sale, a stronger decrease in price, okay? So don't mistake, okay, well, it's not like I'm selling something to someone else. I am looking at price dropping in value. Candles will be flat on the top. So when you're looking for a sale, you're looking for a red candle with a flat top. This indicates a strong sale. Now, when a wick forms on the top of the candle, it indicates that there is a trend reversal coming. And then step number 3, you're going to identify the PSAR that is above the red candle with the flat top. This adds extra confirmation that there's momentum and prices dropping. So those are the steps when you're analyzing a sale or when you're looking for price to continue to decrease in value. So here we are, we have the buy. That is when price is increasing. So here's what we do. Step 1, the stochastic is around the 20. All right. The blue line crosses over the red line in an upward position. And when the lines are below the 20 and they're heading up, that's a stronger buy, more momentum. The next thing you do is you look for the green candle with a flat bottom. And this indicates a strong buy. When a wick forms on the bottom of the candle, it indicates a trend reversal. Okay? So you want to make sure that you look for the green candle with a flat bottom, and then the PSAR needs to be below the green candle. This adds extra confirmation as well. All right, so it's opposite of the sell when price is increasing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears. We're going to transition. We are going to bring up the Vibrata, which is our tool that we use to analyze the market. And what I want you all to do is to make sure when you have any question at all, I want you to drop it in the chat so that you'll leave here ready to push the button. You'll leave here ready to execute trades. All right. So here we are, we have the Vibrata. Let's talk about the Vibrata and what we see here. Now, before I go into explaining the Vibrata and what you're looking at, I want you to understand who we are being led by in this movement. The gentleman, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, that I talked about, who had this vision of be your own bank, this movement, he is actually the spokesperson of the Vibrata. And so his face is seen in over 122 countries when people open up the Vibrata, and he shares why this is a valuable tool. And so we are as close to the source as we can possibly be of the owners of this company that we're a part of, iMarkets. But BYOB was born because of his vision, his expertise. So you don't want to take that lightly, ladies and gentlemen. This is someone who's coached by billionaires. He's on his billionaire run, and we have access to him by being a part of this great movement. So here is the vibrata. And in order to get to this version of the vibrata, you want to go to imlwebanalyzer.com. And so you go to imlwebanalyzer.com and you can get to this version, the OG, the original version of the vibrata. All right, so let's talk about what we see when we open up the vibrata. Here on the left, you have triggers. So these triggers simply give you a nudge to say, look at me, look at me, look at me, analyze me, because these are the assets that are moving right now. When you see these triggers pop up, that indicates that there's movement happening. And then we click on an asset. For example, this one here triggered 9 minutes ago for CAD-JPY. This is a Forex pair, the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen, right? So this is a trigger that says, okay, this currency pair is something you want to analyze because there's movement happening right now with this particular asset. So these are not telling you that, okay, it's time to trade these assets. It's just telling you this is something you want to look at and analyze. Now, the beauty of what we're doing is that we can analyze any asset. And so down at the bottom, you will see these different icons that we can click on. So if we want foreign exchange pairs, we click here. If we want cryptocurrency here, indices here, commodities here. It doesn't matter what the asset is, because when you open up a chart, it all looks the same. You can have these same indicators on every chart and analyze everything in the same fashion. They move differently, but the analysis is the same. Okay, so now we have at the top left-hand corner of the chart, we have the abbreviation of the asset. So we have CAD-JPY, right? That is the foreign exchange pair. And then next to that, we have the time frames of each chart. So the basis of our analyzation is the 15-minute chart. So that is where we start our analysis with our BYOB cash out strategy. So we use the 5-minute chart, the 1-hour chart, and the 15-minute chart for beginners. So that is where you live until you master that. You stay right with those 3 charts. All right. All right. So next to here on the right-hand side, this is the actual price that you see of this foreign exchange pair. Right. And I like to use this tool on the side as well because I wear glasses. So I like to have the numbers big and bold so I don't have any mistake of where price is when I go to enter my trade. Right. And so that is what you see right here. Now, if you look at the bottom of the vibrata, you see at the bottom it says strategy. So you want to click here to make sure you have the BYOB cash out strategy. So when you click on strategy, you end up on this page. There's a drop down arrow and you simply click BYOB cash out here, right? And then you click save settings and reload. That chart that I had on the side that had that large amount, what the price was, this is the chart details. You can click that on or off. Then you click save settings and reload. And you are right back here at the vibrata. So the strategy that we always want to use and analyze off of is the BYOB cash out strategy. And you click down at the bottom to get to that strategy. All right. So here, this watch list never changes. These are the 3 most common Forex pairs that are traded. So that's always there in the watch list. And then again, we have price here. At the bottom of the chart, then we have the time and the date so that we can analyze historical data. We know what happened in what time frame, and that past performance indicates future futuristic occurrences. And so that's why we want to make sure we know how to analyze the past so we know where price is going in the future. And then you notice here, it's UTC time. So this says 1:23. I'm in Central Time right now, so it's now 8:23. If you're in Eastern, it's 9:23. So do the math. That'll let you know where you are and the time difference between where you are and UTC time. So let's talk about what we see as we look for our 3 indicators that allow for us to analyze these assets. So here at the bottom of the chart, you have the stochastic. So the stochastic represents these lines represent the stochastic, the blue and the red line. So although it's a singular word, it's describing these 2 lines that travel in this purple shaded area. And this lets us know when price is overbought or when price is oversold. So we look to the right at the 20 marker and the 80 marker. And I like to use the analogy of when you're driving on the highway, you enter on the on ramp, you will see markers. They let you know where you are on the highway and how far you've traveled. So the same thing here. We have the range is from 0 to 100, but what we pay close attention to is the 20 and the 80. Why do we do that? Because we're looking for momentum in the market. So let me show you an example of when price is overbought. This is a great example right here. So price goes up when it's buying and it comes down when it's selling. So when price is increasing, you see the lines going up, up, up. When it crosses over this 80 marker here, that means that it's overbought. And then what happens with things that go up? They must come down. So once price starts traveling down and price crosses over this 20 marker here, we call that oversold. So just be familiar with those terms and what it looks like when you're looking at your leading indicator. Price is overbought when it crosses over. When these 2 lines cross over the 80 marker, price is oversold when the lines cross below the 20 marker. Any questions about overbought and oversold? Because that's what you want to look at first when you are entering or when you're analyzing, so that you can enter your trade properly. Any questions there? Ask your questions now, because when you leave here, we want you to be cashing out. We want you in the morning when you get on the call at 5 a.m. Eastern, we want you to be able to identify entry. So any questions, drop it in the chat. And if you're with me, I want you to drop a 555 in the chat. All right, we want to be interactive, make sure everybody's paying attention. Why? Because when you master this, you can teach your entire family and create billionaires for generations. 555 in the chat. That's our goal, to create wealth. We live in a capitalistic society. We're not free without money. Money is our profit, is our product, right? Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Moneybags, Money King. I appreciate you. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So now that we know how to identify something of the price when it's overbought and price when it's oversold, this is our stochastic here, the red and the blue line. Now we're going to look at our lagging indicators, our HA candles, Hikanashi candles, and our PSAR. So when price is overbought, we're looking for price to begin to decline or drop in value, right? So let's go over here. I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to stay closest to price so we don't have to keep backing up, finding a setup. We're just going to analyze something right here. All right, so we see here where the blue line is crossing over the red, heading in a downward momentum. Right, so now the next thing we would do for this sale, because price is decreasing, we are going to look for a red candle with a flat top. So let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see what I see. All right, so here we have the crossover heading in a downward momentum. So now my next step number 2, is I'm going to look for a red candle with a flat top. This has a little wick above it. I don't know if you all can see that. This candle has a flat top. However, we don't have a PSAR above the red candle with the flat top. So that's telling me it's not ready. You need to have a flat top and a PSAR above it for it to be what we're looking for in terms of analyzing this asset. So I'm going to go to the next candle. This has a flat top as well, but guess what? No PSAR above it there. The PSAR is this dot. So boom, here we have a red candle, flat top and a PSAR, and our stochastic is still heading downward. So this would be our entry point right there. If we have Confluence, oh, you know what, you all, I'm on the 5-minute chart. I'm sorry. I need to be on the 15-minute chart. That's step number one. Make sure you're on the right chart. So I'm going back to the 15-minute chart and I'm going to start over. All right, so we have the blue line crossing over the red, heading in a downward momentum here. We have a red candle with a flat top, and we have a PSAR above this candle. So here we have the three things that we look for right there. And I'm gonna drop a arrow above this red candle so that we can go and check time frame Confluence. If you're taking notes, jot that down. We want to check for time frame Confluence. That means that we look at the 5-minute chart and the 1-hour chart to make sure that price is heading in the same exact direction that price is heading in on the 15-minute chart. But one thing you want to realize when you're looking at the 15-minute chart, you want the stochastic to be crossing over, heading in a downward momentum. You want to have a red candle with a flat top and a PSAR above it, right? Now, when you look for time frame Confluence, price just needs to be heading in that same direction, but you don't have to have the stochastic in the same place. As long as it's heading downward, you don't have to have a PSAR above the red candle, and you don't have to have a flat top as long as you have a red candle. So I'm pointing that out because you want to make sure that price is flowing in the same direction, but you don't have to have all of those same things in place when you're looking on the 5-minute chart and the 1-hour chart. So let's look at the 5-minute chart. I'm going to look for my arrow so that I'm in the same place on the 5-minute chart. So what am I looking at first? So I'm putting my cursor right in the middle of the arrow that I've marked the chart with. And when you're marking up charts, it's because you're looking at things in the past. You don't need these arrows when you are live in the market, because the candle that you're looking for is the only candle closest to the right. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So here we are. You have the stochastic still heading in a downward momentum. You do have a red candle here. You happen to have a PSAR above it. So this is saying, okay, the price is still selling on the 5-minute chart. Now you go to the 1-hour chart and you're going to look for the same arrow. The same blue arrow heading down. And then we have to make sure, guess what? I don't like it. Look at the stochastic. It's not heading down or up. It's just kind of sitting right here in the middle. Nope, you would not take the trade. So if you just follow these steps, you will have 92% plus accuracy rate. So this is one of the highest accuracy rates in the industry. You won't find any strategy with such a high accuracy rate. And you'll get to the 100% accuracy rate when you have full control of your emotions and timing when you're entering your trades. So you can have 100% accuracy. You just have to make sure you have everything under control and you don't do anything. You don't add anything to this. You don't take anything away. And remember, you don't have to take every trade. You don't have to, put that type of pressure on yourself. If anything says, I don't like it, don't take the trade. All right. Questions, comments, testimonies. Questions, comments, testimonies. Because you would much rather not take a trade than wish you had not taken the trade. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to identify a buy. We're going to go to our 15-minute chart and we're going to identify a buy. So let me talk about what I mentioned. When you're in a live trade, you are looking at the candle that's closest to price. This is our live candle right here. All of these other candles are historical data. That means that price traveled from left to right. And the candle here, this is the live candle. What do I mean by live candle? Well, when you click into the price section here and you go and you click on countdown to bar close, then you will see a timer here. And this is letting you know how much time is going to pass before another candle forms closest to price. So this is the live candle here on the 15-minute chart. In 10 minutes and 57 seconds, you will see a new candle that will form right here. So all of these candles represents where price has traveled from, and this is where price is currently right here. So the vibrata is telling you, look, I'm in the middle of this purple section, so don't even think about taking a trade right now, because you want to look for things that are overbought and oversold. So if you see the stochastic here, when you're analyzing something in the market, nope, this is telling you no way, no how, go on to the next asset. All right, it's very simple. We complicate things, just keeping it simple. I have a motto, less kiss. Let's keep it super simple, right? Don't complicate things. Don't add anything to it. Don't take anything away. It's just like when you're cooking. When you try to change a recipe, if you substitute baking powder for baking soda, or you leave an egg out when you need to put an egg in the recipe, you're going to mess up the cake or the cookies or whatever you're baking. So don't do that. Don't be creative. You don't need to add anything or subtract anything from this strategy. It works. It's proven. So here we are. Let's identify this buy right here. We'll make it a little bit. Here we go. All right. So we have the blue line crossing over the red, heading in an upward momentum here, right? So I'm going to look for a green candle with a flat bottom, with a PSAR beneath the green candle with the flat bottom. So here we are. This has a flat bottom with no PSAR. This has a wick at the bottom. So those are not candles I'm looking for. I'm looking for the green candle with the flat bottom that has a PSAR below it. And here we go, right there. I'm going to drop my up arrow below that green candle. Here we go. So now guess what we're going to do? We're going to look for time frame confluence on the 1 hour chart and the 5-minute chart. So you don't have to go to the 5-minute first. You can go to the 1 hour first. Let's do that, because I don't want you all to think, well, she didn't do it that way. She did it this way. It doesn't matter. You can check either one first. All right. So here we are. We are on the 1 hour chart, right? So I have my cursor in the middle of this arrow, and look at what my stochastic's doing. I don't like it, so I wouldn't even look at the 5-minute. I don't like how the 1 hour looks, so I wouldn't take the trade. It's just as simple as that. There's no emotion involved. I don't like how it looks. It's not really, it doesn't have momentum. And these candles are telling me that there's no trend really happening here, consolidation. So boom, I'm done. I'm not even going to go to the 5-minute chart. Any questions, comments, testimonies? So the strategy is very, very simple, clear and clean cut. Questions, comments, testimonies. All right. So what we can do is we can use our tool to analyze any asset. So let's just click on Bitcoin or crypto, the crypto symbol here. It's the Bitcoin right here, BTC USD. So let's just click on that so you can see that this works with any asset. It doesn't matter what you're analyzing, the strategy works, okay? So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, bring it in a little bit, scrunch it up, go to the 15-minute chart. That's our foundation. That's where we start, right? So let's go to the 15-minute chart. So again, it doesn't matter what asset you're analyzing. This works across the board. Bring this down. All right. So everybody's talking about cryptocurrency. Most people have no idea what they're doing. They're just purchasing the asset and hoping that it increases in price, right? Well, what are we doing? We are able to profit. It doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes to 100,000 or $1, right? Because we can make money either way. So we don't care because we have a skill set. So here we are. We're going to do the same exact thing for Bitcoin. So I'm going to look. Here we go. We got the stochastic. It is overbought right here, right? The blue line crossing over the red, heading in a downward momentum. So here we are heading downward here. Now I'm going to look for my red candle with a flat top. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. We have a red candle with a flat top right here and a PSAR above it. So what am I going to do? Because we're analyzing this price at this particular moment in time in history, I'm going to grab an arrow from over here so that when I check for time frame confluence, I know I'm looking at the same moment in time for price. All right. So here we go. There's our flat candle, flat red top, PSAR above it. Boom, 15-minute chart. That's our foundation. Real simple. So now what I'm going to do, let me click on the 5-minute chart. I'm going to pull this over to the right till I find my arrow. Guess what I'm going to look at first? I'm going to put my cursor right in the middle of this downward arrow, and I'm going to bring my eyes all the way down to the stochastic to see if it's pointing down, the red and the blue line. Yes, pointing down. I have a red candle, so this is telling me, yes, price is selling. So I'm going to go to my 1 hour now, and I'm going to look for my red candle, my stochastic, my PSAR. Boom, here we go. What is this doing? Well, look at the stochastic. So if we took this all the way over, let me show you what it would look like. So the blue line would have been heading downward a little bit there. But guess what? I've got a green candle. That's telling me no, do not pass go, do not enter that trade. It's just that simple, you all. Don't you love it? If you love how simple this is, I want you to drop a 111 in the chat. If this is simple and you understand it, you can teach it now. You understand the 3 steps. I want you to drop a 111 in the chat because this is about teaching people how to fish. We don't want to bring you on and just tell you what to jump into and hope that you get it right when you enter the trade. No, we're not giving you signals. We are empowering you so that you can impact and empower thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, millions of people indirectly because you taught somebody who taught somebody else. That's what the movement is all about.
Question.
Keep dropping in the chat. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. I'm watching. Questions, drop it in the chat. So while we're waiting for that question, we're gonna look for a buy. So we identified a sell, we're gonna identify a buy. All right, so we have the stochastic here, it's oversold, around the 20, blue line crossing over the red, heading in an upward momentum. We have that happening right here. And then what we're gonna do is look for a green candle with a flat bottom. So I'm looking for the red candle for the sell, right? And because you saw a green candle on the 1 hour, it wasn't a trade to get into. That is exactly correct. So if the stochastic would have been heading down and I had a red candle, then I would have been able to get into that trade. Everything needs to be this congruent or confluent. That's why we call it time frame confluence, because everything needs to be moving in the same direction. The candles need to be the same color. The stochastic needs to be pointing in the same direction on each of the charts. You are exactly correct. All right, so here we are. We have the stochastic crossing over heading upward. We have a green candle, flat bottom. We have the PSAR underneath this candle, right? Is it under here? You know, I can't see good. Where's the stochastic? It's under this candle here. Okay, so I would drop my arrow, my upward facing arrow underneath the PSAR here, not the stochastic. Okay, here we go. So this would be my fit for, I'm on the 1 hour. You excuse me. Here we go. We got the blue line crossing over the red, heading in the upward position. Here we go. We got momentum heading up. We have a green candle, flat bottom, PSAR right here. Boom. I'm going to drop my arrow here. And guess what? I think we had Confluence on the 1 hour. So let's go to the 1 hour first. You are welcome. Go to the 1 hour first this time. We're going to mix it up, right? Because it doesn't matter where you go first. Uh-oh, I got 2 candles. Let me see which one, which arrow. I am at between closest to 9. Okay, let's go back to the 1 hour. So, wow, this is the one here. So we have the stochastic heading up. We got a nice, beautiful green candle. I'm gonna take this one off. When we go to the 5 minute, I won't be wondering which arrow to look at. Here we go. Let's see what the 5 minute tells us to do. Look at how many 5 minute candles we have to go through to find the arrow. Here we go. Look at the 5 minute. The stochastic is pointing down. So that's telling us not to get into that trade. So for beginners, you wouldn't get into that trade. Now you stay tuned for Thursday so that you can learn support and resistance, so that you can learn how to, you know, take your skill set to the next level using the S&R line. So stay tuned for Thursday for a more advanced explanation of this type of a trade. So with that being said, that's the basics. You can click on these different icons down here for the indices and use the same exact strategy. And then here we have the commodities as well. So it works on every asset, ladies and gentlemen, every asset. So we can have all sorts of trade accounts. We can have, when you want to separate them, your FOREX accounts from your indices, but that is when you are graduating from beginners to advanced. All right. So let's go back to before I go back to the slides, and we're going to talk about the 8th wonder of the world, which is one of my favorite topics. Do we have any questions, any comments, any testimonies before I go back to the slides? Any questions, comments, testimonies about the vibrata or about the strategy itself? If you're excited about the simplicity, let's give Miss Tasha M. Dyer a 777 because she came up with this strategy. It is awesome. I'm telling you the truth. What a blessing. 777 in the chat. We need to be talking about the trade whisperer. Tell the story, right? This woman created this strategy that has simplified this thing that people go to college for years to learn and still don't know what we know, right? Wow. Be grateful, thankful, and appreciative for our leadership. Always be edifying. Always, always, always. All right, let's see here. We are going to go back to our slides. All right, the 8th wonder of the world. The 8th wonder of the world. Drop a 777 in the chat for the 8th wonder of the world, compounding. I have the slides up. I want to make sure that you can see them. So drop a 777 in the chat. The eighth wonder of the world. Wonderful. Excellent. So Einstein said it. He coined the phrase compounding interest, the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who does not pays it. So we are all taught a system where 95% of the population, they are compounding, but they're compounding out. We are not going to compound out. We're compounding in. We're taking advantage of the eighth wonder of the world, creating wealth, compounding our trade accounts. Now, here is the compounding sheet. You want to go to BeYourOwnBankMovement.com, download the Excel spreadsheet, your compounding sheet, because you need to start your trading day knowing what lot size you're going to use when you take profit from the market. So it doesn't matter if you start your trade account with $100, $50, or $100,000, you still want to make sure that you refer to your compounding chart so that you know what lot size to start your trade with. So if you have $100 deposited into your account, so here we have the different columns on the spreadsheet. Column A, your number of trades. Column B, your beginning balance. So as your trades end in profit, you're going to go click on this field here on the live Excel spreadsheet. You're going to update your balance so that your lot size is appropriate for the percentage of profit that you plan for your trade. So if your beginning balance is 100, the very first time you take a trade, you want 3% profit, then that's going to equate to a $3 deposit into your account, but your lot size needs to be 0.03. So here we are, the starting balance of every trade. C is your percentage of growth. D is your profit goal in monetary value. E, your take profit, your stop loss. F, when as beginners, you want to focus on 10 pips and cashing out. And then your stop loss, we definitely want to talk about that on the next basics. Your stop loss, how do you identify your stop loss? Because you never want to enter a trade without your stop loss. So go to our YouTube channel and make sure that you watch that basics video. It's about 6 minutes. You will learn about the stop loss. All right. So here we are. We have an example of $100 starting balance. After 20 successful trades, you will turn that 100 into $180. The powerful thing behind that is I want you to think about how much money you have in your bank account right now. And if you didn't touch it 20 days from now, how much would you have in that same account? Most people will have the same exact amount or maybe a little less because of fees, banking fees. Here, you can compound one trade a day, 3%, and almost double your money in 20 different trades, or in 20 days if you're taking one trade a day. I've taken 20 trades in one day before. So think about if you have the time to identify 20 trades that'll end with 10 pips in profit, you can turn $100 into 180 in one day, right? So let's look at $500 with 3% growth. You can turn that $500, look at this, into $903 after 20 trades. If that excites you, I want you to drop a 777 again in the chat. What? 20 trades? Just learn the skill, right? We're not talking about just having Starbucks money extra a day. No, we're talking about life-changing money, zip code changing money, right? We're talking about being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Your expenses are covered because you are trading daily, taking profit from the market. So your lot size, this 0.15, that would be your lot size at the beginning. Learn a skill one time. You got that right. Absolutely. So when you're entering your trade, this is your lot size. If you have a $500 beginning balance and you want to take 3% profit, you're going for 10 pips. Your lot size would be 0.15. That's what you would key in the MetaTrader for. But guess what? This drum roll, we need a drum roll, please. This is our goal sheet for 6 figures in 6 months. I done changed it to 5 figures in 5 months. What am I doing? 6 figures in 6 months, you all. So if you start your account with $500 and you plan to take 5% profit per trade, 1 trade a day, 20 trades a month, you can turn that $500 into $1,326. Yes, let's go. Let's get it. Absolutely. You can turn that $500 into $1,326 in 20 trades. Now you can take 1 trade a day. You might take 2 trades a day, right? If you get up at 4 or 5 a.m., 4 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. Eastern, you can easily identify 2 trades a day, right? So let's go. Then your lot size would be 0.25. Now let's look at our compounding goals. 6 months to 6 figures, 6 months to 6 figures. I want you all to drop a 222 in the chat. 6 months to 6 figures. Just drop a 222 because we are making this happen. Exciting stuff. We've all been taught to go to school, get that education, work for 40 hours a week for 40 years, retire on 40% of what wasn't enough in the first place. Guess what? We can help retirees retire in style. We can help individuals in grammar school learn how to never work for anybody in their entire life and everybody in between if we talk about 6 figures in 6 months, right? So here we are. We have month 1, we start with $500. Month 2, we compound our way to $1,326. Let's skip to month 6. We compound our way to $65,750 at the end of that 6-month period. Guess what? By taking 1 trade a day, 5% profit, we have $174,455 in our account. Boom! We withdraw that 6 figures in 6 months. Guess what? 6 figures in 6 months means $200,000 in 12 months. Or if you continue to follow this plan, 8 figures in 12 months. So if we all got this half right and you earned $50,000 in 6 months, would it be worth it? If you got it 1% right and you ended up with $100,000 in 12 months, would it be worth it? Absolutely. So ladies and gentlemen, just learn the skill. Get your mind right. Affirm yourself. Operate in excellence. Make sure you have positive vibes. And then your success will be shown. It'll show up in your trade account. Surround yourself with the right people. We also have a compounding chart for HFX. So it looks a little bit different. The concept is the exact same thing. So if you start your account with $500 and you decide you're going to profit 5% with binary options, then you're going to type in your trade size. So when we use our options platform, you type in a monetary value, not your lot size. So if you're going for 5% profit and you start with a $500 balance, then you're going to type in $25 when you're entering your trade. And then this example shows you when an asset's value is worth 80% of profit when your trades end in profit on the binary option platform. And so here you would have $20 added to your account if you decide you want to take 5% profit from $500. You would be adding $20 to that first trade. All right. That's how much will be deposited into your account. So by the end of 20 trades, you would have $1,053 in your trade account. Now, let me share something with you. These binary trades happen in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? So how many minutes will you invest learning that skill? It's nothing to take 5 trades and options because they move so fast, right? So you can cut your time in half by learning that skill that you will learn tomorrow by plugging in at 9 p.m. with Miss Benita Brantley, our trading diva. She's going to break it down for you. So here is the 6 months to 6 figures using options, right? So here we are at the end of month 6. We have 53,000 in our account. We start month 7 there. So it's actually 7 months based upon this chart, but who's counting, right? It's better than our plan to go to school for 17 years and end up broke. So we have $100,000 after month 7, $500,000 after month 12. And this is by taking 1 trade a day. We talked about the fact that you can easily take 5 trades and options a day because they move so fast. So here we are in the beginning, you're brand new, you're cashing out, you're using a low lot size, right? You have to hone your skill. You want to become an educated trader, know what you're doing. You'll be a profitable trader. You'll be dropping those 777s in the chat in no time. And right now, I want you to get your phones out. Get your phones out. We want to quickly equip you so that you are plugged into all of our community chats and Facebook groups. We're now in, Telegram, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And we're now, what's the newest thing we added today? Man, we are growing. I love it. I love it. We are so current. Absolutely. So make sure you get your phones out. Here are resources. Clubhouse. That's what, yes, thank you. Clubhouse. We in the Clubhouse right now. That's bananas, right? BeYourOwnBankMovement.com. Visit the site, get your paraphernalia, watch the videos, share the site with everybody you know. YouTube, Be Your Own Bank Movement, youtube.com/C/BYOB challenge. Then text, type in 9, or you want to text BYOB cash out to 904-567-0634. Then we have the Telegram chat, t.me/BYOB cash out. We have the Academy and we have our Zoom events. Make sure you get plugged into the Telegram chat, the Facebook group, so that you can have access to the calendars and you never miss an event or an announcement. And then membership has its privileges, right? So you will get rewarded for simply being a part of our community. $200 certificate for enrolling. You just go ahead and submit your information 10 days after your enrollment to receive that certificate or voucher. And then when you are able to cash out and prove that you have mastered the skill, airfare and 2-night hotel stay for 2, 4-night resort getaway, right? So look at this. Miss Dyer just dropped in the chat. Click on that link for the Facebook group. Make sure you're connected. There's a video on BeYourOwnBankMovement.com that describes the membership privileges. So go to there, go to the site, watch the video. Okay, Telegram, you want to get the Clubhouse link as well. Go to the Telegram chat. We'll make sure everybody's plugged in. All right, trips and pips. So you want to make sure if you qualify for any of those rewards that you email BeYourOwnBankMovement@gmail.com or take a look at the video on our website. So what will it take? It'll take movements. We move when the market moves. What will your legacy be? Financial freedom, better health. Now we're talking about mental health first. Physical, financial, spiritual, we need them all. That'll lead to less crime, harmonious communities, BYOB churches, BYOB university, BYOB hotels, BYOB banks, right? Better education and generational wealth. Remember, we will economically impact and empower 2 million families by March 28th, 2022. Enroll, learn, and profit. We are the movement. We are Be Your Own Bank. And with that being said, it is indeed my privilege to turn this call over to a gentleman